What is one project that you are really proud of that would be the hallmark?
Our peak was in 2016 and 17 when we delivered Dubai Parks and Resorts. We built the roller coasters, we did the infrastructure, we built the Bollywood theater. We've been on an upward trajectory.
So you came to Dubai and your father had a business at the time.
Yes. I was coming in at 24 years old. So when I came in, I thought, I'm coming into Abu Dhabi, I'm going to be a manager, and I had a suit. That next morning, I was awakened pleasantly that I would not be going to the office, I'd be going to the site. So I hated it back then, but I'm appreciative today because I wouldn't be able to do what I do today without that kind of hands-on experience.
Around COVID time, I think you'd started the Real Housewives.
I usually tried to stay out of the limelight. So when the opportunity came and I saw how excited she was, I couldn't say no, number one. Number two, I saw it as an opportunity.
What kind of cultural differences you typically see while working in Abu Dhabi and Dubai?
The whole approach to business is different in Abu Dhabi and it's different in Dubai.
Good morning, Rafael. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. A lot of people know you from the Real Housewives of Dubai. But now people need to know you in person, of course, as a businessman. How you built the business and how has it been going so far? Many lessons we've talked offline. We've talked about the failures you wanted to highlight, the learning outcomes. Let's get going, I guess.
Okay, we get rocking.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So you mentioned that you came to the UAE in 1997 sometime?
Yeah, well, my father was here already working in Abu Dhabi. And so I came for 97 and 98. I was in high school. And I came for my freshman and sophomore years in Abu Dhabi, which was way before anyone thought about coming here, other than oil and gas people.
Oh, absolutely. The property hadn't opened up. It was Abu Dhabi at the time. I think Dubai was coming up. Burj Al Arab had been started, I think.
They had started. You knew that back then when you were coming to Dubai, when I would come with my parents for a weekend or whatever, you knew you were getting close to Dubai when you saw the construction of Burj Al Arab.
Absolutely.
That means you were still 45 minutes away, 30 minutes away.
Right.
It was crazy.
It was still a single lane, right?
Yeah, it was like a 2-lane road.
Yeah. And they used to have Chicago Beach Hotel.
Chicago Beach Hotel. Then you had the Ocean Hotel, the one I was on JBR at that time. I don't remember now.
I've read about it, but I can't remember.
Yeah, those were the days we used to go to swimming pool.
Yeah. Did you ever think that, coming to the UAE at the time, that you would end up living here for almost the rest of your life and building a business?
Well, it's interesting. When I went back to the States to finish high school and then I went to college there, I didn't have any intention of coming back, quite frankly. But the opportunity presented itself because my father already had a company and he said, come and join him. So I said, okay, after I graduated college, I said, let me give it a chance. I went to Abu Dhabi in 2005, stayed there for about a year with him, and then we expanded to Dubai. Dubai was booming. So I brought the business to Dubai, basically. And we started taking on small projects and getting larger. So I never had the idea that I would be here for the rest of my life. But at this point in time, I don't think that we have any plans to leave.
No, it's a beautiful place. Who wants to leave?
Yeah, for sure. It's just
the UAE and Dubai, of course. Now, so you came to Dubai in 2005, Abu Dhabi, right?
Abu Dhabi first.
Abu Dhabi, and your father had a business at the time.
Yes.
What kind of business?
Contracting, construction, mainly landscaping business.
Oh, okay, landscaping. So you were making Abu Dhabi green, I guess.
Abu Dhabi. See, the late Sheikh Zayed, the founder of the country, he had that vision that he wanted to show the world that this desert, quote unquote, could be a full oasis. So his intention was to make the whole country green, not just Abu Dhabi. But of course, they were starting with Abu Dhabi. That's the capital. That's where he's from. So they started designating a lot of plots of land to be the public parks and things like that. So the municipality started doing a lot of greenery on the roads. As you can see when you drive around Abu Dhabi, every road is landscaped.
It is.
So we've been a part of that from 1990, or even before that, till today.
It's amazing that you mentioned that. I mean, whenever I go to Abu Dhabi, I always assume that there's somehow more greenery because of the soil being different in Abu Dhabi.
No, it's just a vision. It's just a vision. And now Dubai is taking on that vision, by the way. So they've just allocated a huge budget till 2040 about making Dubai more green and redeveloping the kind of urban outlay of Dubai by adding a lot of trees and plants and going that direction. So there's a lot of exciting things happening in the landscape business in the UAE.
Fantastic. So you joined your dad's business.
Yes.
And he was in business for how many years at the time?
At that time, you can say he was in business for about 15 years.
15 years. So it was quite a mature business, right?
Yeah, at that point.
And how did you happen to join your dad's company? I mean, I tend to think about myself when I look at my children. My daughter is 20 years old at the moment.
Wow.
Sometimes, I have kind of mixed opinions at times, whether they should join the business, whether you should.
Look, it's not easy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It puts a strain on the relationship, no doubt, because you have to be serious also. There's no emotions in business, right? So, especially when you're young and immature a little bit, I was coming in at 24 years old, still, it's not, today I can go back and say, most of the things that we fought about, I was wrong about, but back then I was 100% correct. So, you have to be patient. I think as a father, I could imagine being in that situation.
Right.
Also, I was coming in with no experience. So when I came in, I thought, I'm coming into Abu Dhabi, I'm going to be a manager, and I had a suit and everything else. And that next morning, I was awakened pleasantly that I would not be going to the office, I'd be going to the site. So, he threw me on site, made me get my hands dirty, gave me some boots, and really learned the business from the ground up. And I'm appreciative. I hated it back then, but I'm appreciative today because I wouldn't be able to do what I do today without that kind of hands-on experience.
Right. So you started from scratch, not with the white shirt and the tie and the suit, right?
No, I didn't own one
Passing
of those
orders,
for a few
I guess.
years. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So what position were you given in the company at the time?
At that time, it was just like, I wouldn't even call it a site supervisor. I was just learning. It was education, right? So he put me in different departments, but the core of it, the foundation of our business is the site. That's where action happens. So if you don't know the site, you can't know the office. And that's where I really appreciate it. Then I bounced around the business for about a year and a half before I set up shop in Dubai.
Right. Do you remember any specific things that your dad would tell you, in terms of business ethics, how you should be conducting yourselves? And maybe you probably disagreed at certain points with him.
Yeah, well, the one thing that always sticks in my head that he said over and over and still says is don't worry about the money. You work hard, you do your job the right way, you have a plan, and the money will come. That doesn't mean that you don't have budgets and all the things that you require as a business, but your focus should be execution. Your focus shouldn't only be the money, because if you can't execute, then nothing will come, and then you don't have a return client, or you don't have a new client, or you get that black point, on your portfolio that you couldn't finish a project. In 40 years, we've finished every single project and delivered it with the satisfaction of everyone. There's not to say there's no been challenges. It's a construction business. Every project has its challenges. No one's perfect. We make our mistakes, but at the end, you work hard together and you get it done.
True. And so you were on the site. It was landscaping business at the time, right?
Yeah.
At the time. And how did the things flow afterwards?
Well, when I came to Dubai, we took a lot of Dubai municipality parks. That's how it pretty much started. Just like he started in Abu Dhabi with municipality parks, and that has infrastructure. That has every single type of construction in it. Maybe it doesn't have a tower, but it has the full utilities. It has hardscape, softscape, and all those different things, right? Pumping stations, etc. So we started to grow, and then we started to tender directly for infrastructure standalone projects. And then we built a pretty big reputation for infrastructure, doing transmission, utility lines, roads, things like that. So then that started to become a division of the business where we were no longer just a landscape contractor. We became a general contractor. And we built golf courses. The golf course is not really a landscape project. We've done a lot of hotels and resorts.
Complete infrastructure.
Yeah.
And what kind of golf course are we talking about?
We've built the Trump golf course here in Dubai.
Okay.
We built Yas Links in Abu Dhabi. We built the course in Jordan, in Aqaba. So we have quite a bit of experience in the golf course business.
We're talking about end-to-end?
End-to-end.
End-to-end.
Yeah,
that is quite massive, I would say.
Large projects.
Right.
Large projects.
Right.
Did the Meydan racetrack for the World Cup. We've built that. So we've done a lot of the hotels and resorts. We just proudly handed over Zayed National Museum in Abu Dhabi. I'm sure you've seen the big National Day over there. That was that's probably the project that I'm the most proud of.
Oh, wow. And how did this transition happen? I mean, from landscaping to going full on, into golf courses and, other infrastructure projects?
Look, I would say partially it was our ambition to grow and to become bigger and better and everything else. But I'd have to give the most credit to the country and the leaders and their vision and the opportunity they presented for us to thrive, quite frankly. I mean, today, UAE is on the map in a big way. There's a lot more competition because people saw the opportunity and came here, set up companies. But back then, when we used to tender, it was just 2 or 3 of us that were competing. I mean, there were many other companies, but we were the ones who were delivering some of my, very good competitors. And we were given the opportunity to grow. Simple as that.
Right. And what kind of other projects you're currently doing in terms of, the infrastructure and construction?
Well, we're just handing over a project in Jebel Ali Village, right here by Ibn Battuta Mall, which is a full utilities and roads project to Nakhil. So we've just completed that job. We also were proud. We just handed over Marsa Al Arab Hotel landscape package. The external package there we've completed. And we're working on a big project now to be announced here in Dubai. But in Abu Dhabi, we're also thriving in a big way. We work closely with all the different clients there, whether it be Al Dar, or Abu Dhabi Ports, or the municipalities there, and DMT.
Right. What kind of challenges did you face when you were sort of transitioning from the landscaping to the contracting?
Well, that's a good question. And people tend not to understand in our industry that landscaping is not contracting, right? It's 2 different businesses. Contracting is concrete, steel, manpower, machinery. Landscaping, you're dealing with living things. So when you have high mortality, you lose a lot of money because plants are expensive and they're living. You got to maintain them. You got to, people don't understand there's an art form to it. It's kind of like interior fit out, right? It's very subjective. No one's going to see the steel or the concrete in the wall, right? They're going to see the cladding. No one's going to see the pipes under the ground. They're going to see that planter box and the landscape that's inside of it. So everyone's going to have a difference of opinion, right? But the most important thing is being able to manage the life cycle of the trees, making sure that you order on time. You have to have your own in-house nurseries with huge staff. We import hundreds of thousands of trees every year. We grow from seeds 15 million plants, a year in our own nurseries. So, this is a whole different business than contracting. So yes, the transition, changing the mentality of some of the senior management, because contracting is a lot more hardcore, than I would say landscape contracting. But at the same time, landscape comes at the end of every project. So all the program has been used by everybody else and we're expected to finish overnight. So we also had that pressure and that know-how to deliver.
Right. Now, in terms of the change of mindset, it's not easy transitioning from one business segment to another one, which is more complex, I guess. Landscaping, in my understanding, is simpler than contracting, right?
Yes and no. I would say it's not as technical, but at the same time it is, because you gotta measure your irrigation. Landscaping, when you do a park, has everything in it. You have underground tanks, which is concrete and steel. You have the full irrigation and drainage networks. If you have, facilities there, you still have the sewage and the power and everything else. So it's a little misconception that landscape is different because we have all the services there. It's full, solution. Now, the size of the projects are considerably smaller, but.
How far the company has grown in terms of the manpower and the revenue ever since you took over?
Well, we've been on an upward trajectory. And I think our peak was in 2016 and 17 when we delivered Dubai Parks and Resorts, where we delivered 13 packages there. We built the roller coasters. We did the infrastructure. We built the Bollywood Theater as a main contractor. So we did every single realm of the construction industry. We did joint ventures where we did all the art packages, the theming. So, Batman and all these kind of things we did as well for Warner Brothers in Abu Dhabi. So we were at our peak those days. Obviously, there was a downturn in the market after that, just globally, everything slowed down, and then COVID hit. But since then, we've been pretty much almost doubling every year in the last 3 years, recovering from the crisis.
Well, these are massive years, of course. I mean, you mentioned Dubai Parks and Resorts. What's happening with that project?
Well, that project's actually expanding now. So if you recall, in La Mer, there was a water park, Laguna Water Park. We designed and built that project as well as
Which is in La Mer.
Which is in La Mer, was in La Mer.
Yeah.
So that was in that small center island that they had there, right?
Yeah.
So they've dismantled that now and moved it over to Motion Gate, I believe. So we tendered for that project. We weren't successful to take it down and reinstall it. But they've just built that. back there. So they're building another extension to the water park over there.
Right. Well, I mean, these are outdoor projects essentially. I mean, walking outdoors is not that easy in the Dubai heat, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
How's the government? It's Miras, right?
Yeah, it's Miras.
What kind of steps they're taking to ensure that the footfall is increasing?
Well, look, Motion Gate is indoor, has AC mostly. It has that big blue box that has a lot of probably their best rides. No, not probably. It is their best rides. I mean, then you have Hunger Games and stuff, but.
Yeah.
So there is facilities there. There are facilities there that are climate controlled to enjoy. In terms of using the outdoor park in July, I mean, I don't recommend it, but that's the challenging part. So I think they're trying to redirect the summer tourism, which is obviously considerably lower than the winter tourism. But the last 2 years, summer has been pretty popular also.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, Disney would be another big one, of course. Are you
Disney's a massive
pitching
one.
for it?
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit far away, right? It's in design stage. So, but once the designs are there, and if we can contribute any way in the designs, we would love to. Yes, we will definitely be targeting that. Be an honor to work for Disney.
We've been thinking about the project. Of course, I mean, we have children, and talk about Disney all the time. And one of the things that that comes to our mind is, of course, the outdoor activities and summer that Dubai has faced in terms of Dubai parks and resorts. I'm sure they'll come up with something, something for outdoor activities during summer.
Well, you've seen this new project that on social media has been going around. It's called the Loop, or I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's like 93 kilometers of indoor cycling paths and parks and walkways and everything for that's going to be completely climate controlled. So this is what I've been seeing going around social media. Now, you never know what to believe with social media and AI and everything else, but this is a project that's been gaining popularity lately.
Right. Now, what is your key focus in delivering these projects? I mean, your background is, starting point has been landscaping. Like, I live in Al Barari. Their background is in landscaping, right?
Of course.
The entire community is influenced by landscaping.
Yes.
And people go to Barari, for example, to see landscaping, right? Does it have a similar sort of impact in your projects?
It does. I think the approach is the same. So in order to deliver a project, right, we're contractors. We're going to make mistakes. And if you hide your mistakes and try to solve it without your client or consultant knowing, then there's going to be times when you don't solve it and it becomes a bigger problem than it was. So, I mean, our philosophy is be transparent. Try to solve problems together, because there will be problems. The client will have problems. The consultant will have problems. The contractor will have problems. Communicate these problems together. And it's better to have three minds that are educated and experienced working on it and trying to get the job done for the benefit of the job. So that's pretty much our philosophy to any project.
Right. I'd like to go back to the transition from your father to yourself. Is he still active in business?
He is. He's. I think he'll be active for the next 100 years, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah. He is active. He's the chairman of the board. He likes to participate, and it keeps him young and it keeps him going. And he is. He's still very young.
And do you have siblings who are involved?
I do have two brothers that work in the business as well. More recently they've joined.
Right.
And they work in procurement and in business development.
Right. And how does it work when siblings are actually involved in the same business? I mean, what kind of challenges typically, come up while managing the businesses?
I know what it should be, or what is typical about siblings working together. I think I'm fortunate that I haven't experienced that. My brothers work very hard, and they want to prove themselves as well. So I've been here for 21 years. Well, they've been here 3 years, 4 years. So they're also taking the responsibility and taking it head on, and I'm very, very fortunate to have that I don't have to babysit. They were thrown in the fire. They came during COVID, during our most difficult times. So, we don't have that competitive nature against each other. I mean, we do. I beat him in basketball 2 out of 3 times yesterday. He's 10 years younger than me. Just thought that he should hear that again from me.
Yeah, you should watch this one.
He's been hearing it all day at the office and everywhere else. So everyone knows about it. But I think I'm blessed in that matter that we're able to work, hand in hand for a common mission.
Right. And generally, I guess, your father would have some involvement, and the decision making would be delegated quite well, like in normal corporate organizations, right?
Yeah, the decision making is not a problem. That pretty much sits with myself, and for the most part. But you always need somebody with his experience, right, to have your back, to give you that comfort that you're making the right decision. If I make the wrong decision, so be it. As long as we learn from it, and that's the way we move forward.
Right now, currently, so you're going back to the construction and landscaping. Now, you have been involved in projects here, right? And Abu Dhabi at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, is it 50-50 at the moment, or you have more projects here in Dubai?
Mostly in Abu Dhabi.
Mostly in Abu Dhabi.
Most of our work is in Abu Dhabi for the last few years.
Right.
But not to say right now we're handing over the Six Senses project on the Palm. That's something we're done with this month. And like I said, there's a big announcement coming soon about a project.
Great. What kind of cultural differences you typically see while working in Abu Dhabi and Dubai?
Oh, it's a completely different place. The whole approach to business is different in Abu Dhabi and it's different in Dubai. Specifications are slightly different for materials based on preference, basically like that. But both are technically sound. I mean, you're talking about the highest quality engineering in the world is in the UAE. So I would just say approach to business, procedures, authorities' approvals, the communication protocols between them. It's a different business. So you have to have people that are experienced in Dubai to work in Dubai, or people, it's not common.
Right. And where is Dubai headed in terms of the future projects now, in terms of the busyness? We've been talking about potential correction in prices, for example. What do you foresee?
I just don't think that it's going to stop anytime soon, personally. The whole world wants to come here. The whole world is coming here. The numbers are true. The numbers are valid. When you have 15, 16, 17,000 people coming here a month, it's not a joke. When you look at compared to what's being delivered. Now, of course, you're going to have speculators who have bought these off-pan projects, and now they're getting delivered. So the big money's going to start hitting. And, there's going to be some sort of correction from that regard, in my opinion. But I don't think it's going to be a correction due to economic, issues. It's going to be more just where it should be at this point in time. And but I think it still keeps growing. I mean, once the airport in Jebel Ali is completed, we have the largest airport in the world.
Absolutely.
It just changes everything, right? And then in Abu Dhabi, you have a massive growth as well. So I don't see it slowing down too much.
Going back to, we mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, we'll talk about the failures as well. So since 2005, what kind of challenges you've been facing in business? What are the learning outcomes?
Let's be. That was the most expensive and most valuable educations I've ever had. So university costs nothing compared to the lessons you learn in business in the good times and the bad times mainly.
True.
So what would I say? 2008 crisis. I was 27 years old. Thinking that, I'm above the clouds at a young age, doing very well. Things were booming. And then you wake up overnight and everything changes. We actually didn't get hit, really, because we had a couple legacy projects that had to be completed. So we got hit closer to 2011, I would say. But,
just after the crisis.
Yeah, just after. That's when, Dubai didn't get hit really, in 2008 that hard. It was 2009 when it got started over here, right? It was still like, are we still okay over here? There was not...
It was coming from the West. I mean, it took a few months, actually.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then, there was all that lack of the securities and banking and all that stuff. It was a new country, essentially. So, they made a lot of adjustments since then. But, I'd say 2010, learning how to work with no money was very challenging, right? We weren't getting paid. There weren't projects in the market. Everything was on standstill. A lot of the private developers had run away. There was no escrow like there is today. So many different things were challenging there. So that's when you saw a lot of the companies fold. We were able to sustain, largely in part because we had a couple infrastructure projects with DIWA that were very key to the government. As well as Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi was not booming by any means, but they were still developing, and we did a lot of maintenance work, so we were able to sustain those years. And then in 2014, Dubai Parks was our big break.
And so you came back in business,
yeah,
essentially. You were in business, but
we were
it
in
was
business.
A bigger break than before.
Yeah. It was a bigger break.
So how was it feeling like in 2008? Of course, although you had those projects, but you would have seen that there's no future pipeline.
Scary. It's scary. I mean, everybody was talking about, do we have a future here? Do we have to run away? Do we have to leave? Do we have to close down? All these conversations you heard about, because every day you're seeing Ferraris in the airport with the keys on the dashboard and the credit cards, and people left. So, it was for us that stayed. There was a lot of confidence and faith in the country and the leadership. I'd say that we had that comfort that, they're not going to let us down, which of course they didn't in the end. Everyone saw that. But at the same time, it was a lot of risk on our part, right? We could have all gone home to Europe, to America, to wherever you're from, and, got back into our normal way of life. But not a lot of us, but a good amount of us stayed and wrote it out. And, I think we were rewarded handsomely for it.
So come 2011, that was the time when you had completed those projects, right?
Yeah.
How was the feeling at the time that there was nothing on hand, right?
Terrifying. I mean, see, that's another thing. That's the good thing about landscape, though, because it's not just construction projects. Once you build your project and you build your garden in your house, you have to maintain it, right? And that costs money.
Yeah.
So we did have that advantage that we had cash flow from maintenance, because if you don't pay for the maintenance, everything dies and it costs you much more than what it would cost to maintain it. So that was one added value of our business, was that we had the maintenance section.
In 2014, Dubai Park started.
2014, Dubai Park started. We were able to punch way above our weight and take contracts that we've never executed before in terms of size and value. But we achieved them all in very tight timeframes. And like I said, it was so diverse, and people challenged us. They were confused. How is this company getting all these projects? Al Rayum is not big enough to handle these projects and everything else. But, we worked on site. That was 3 years of no weekends, no vacations, on the site at 2 a.m, 3 a.m. The whole company built that project, basically. And while at the same time, we were working in Qatar, we were working in Abu Dhabi, we were working in other places. We had other running projects, but that was a big challenge. It was very emotional when the launch and the opening of Dubai Parks happened. So,
any struggles during that time?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, when you're building a project on the fly, there's a lot of changes that can happen, and they have to happen very quickly. And then that change triggers a domino effect of things with authorities, with everything else, and design and consultants and redesign. But the end date wasn't changing because they announced it to the world. So, it was very challenging, but we achieved it. We accomplished the mission, and the world saw a great grand opening that night.
Any personal setbacks, during this time that you would remember would be interesting to understand how you would have come out of it?
One thing, and I think it was the biggest personal setback that one should ever have, was losing your motivation. But at the same time, being the leader and trying to keep 5,000 other people motivated. So that was a big challenge when I'd wake up in the morning and not want to go to work and just give up and let it go, and with all the problems we were having, but still try to maintain a smile and maintain that energy and positive, basically bluff that everything's going to be great and convince everybody it is. Because you have a vision, you know that it is, or you hope that it is. How do you portray that to someone when you wake up in the morning and you don't know if it's going to happen or not, right? I think that was the biggest setback that I had. And I was fortunate enough that I was able to maintain that type of energy and that type of leadership. But I can tell you at times I just wanted to break. And, we made it through, though.
Do you often go through this thought process?
I do. But I think that you have to stay optimistic and positive. If you focus too much on the negative, then you start drowning in it. I like to say that I'm solution-oriented. So we don't, just sit there and linger on problems. We find solutions. We move forward and we get it done.
Yeah,
no excuses.
I can relate to it. It's very hard when you have a vision, you have the power, and you want to execute it. And of course, there are moments when you have a little bit of a shaky thought process.
No one forced you to be your own boss, right?
Absolutely.
You're your own boss. You have to deal with the problems that come with it. It's not easy.
Sometimes it does become lonely at the top as well, because you are the only person who can actually see the long-term vision, right?
Yeah. And who do you go to cry to?
Absolutely no one.
Yeah.
better half.
Yeah, better half, right?
And it does become challenging, of course. I mean, then you have to communicate well, I think, and put on a strong performance on your own, and then motivate the forces.
Yeah, look, your staff and your colleagues are your family. You see them more than you see your own family.
Yeah.
They have to trust on you that when times go bad, that they're still with you. When the ship is sinking, they're not jumping ship. So, and I think that was very key in our success, that we treat everybody like family, and not because of taking advantage of them. We feel like it's just a nice environment to work for when you go in there and it's not so corporate,
Yeah.
And the boss's doors open and he's not the boss, actually. He doesn't act like that. I think I would want to be in an environment like that.
Absolutely. I've seen some praise on the media regarding your culture. How do you develop that?
Just getting your hands dirty. You have to lead by example in any business that you do or any sport that you play. If you're a basketball player and you're not practicing and working off the court, on the court, longer than your teammates, how do you expect to be the leader? Same thing in your business. If you're not going to your projects and you're the CEO of a construction company and you're sitting in an air conditioning while your people are sweating out there, they're not going to take you seriously, number one. Number two, they don't feel that you're in there with the trenches with them when things get tough. So I think it's very important that senior management and leadership, even if they're not related to operations or technical, they should, show ownership and go on their own because of their heart and work together as one team.
Amazing. And how do you see the culture having been evolved over the last 20 years, ever since you've come on board? I mean, workforce would have increased, right? How many people were there in the early years?
In the early years, we were about 3,000. We grew to about 10,000 plus.
Okay.
And today we sit at about 5,000.
Right.
So we're about half of what we were at our peak.
How has it transitioned in terms of the cultural development?
It's okay. Our core team, our loyal people, have been there, and that forms the basis of our culture. That's the foundation. So it just people feed off of it, right? So we get newcomers that come in within 6 months. They understand that this is the way things are run here, and they like it. So they start to feed into that too. And even if they come from a much larger organization or a more structured organization, they're able to manage and use those relationships within the company to execute their projects.
How has it been after 2016, 2014, Dubai Parks and Resorts? After that?
So I'd say we handed over in the end of 16, beginning of 17. And then, again, there was a little bit of downturn in the market. There weren't as many projects. There wasn't, the volume wasn't there. And then, obviously, we had our good friend COVID come along, and that kind of delayed the process even more. But the UAE is so resilient, and they have the big vision. So, while other countries were just locking down and cutting budgets and everything else, of course, the shock happened here as well. But by 2021, they started, okay, no, this is not going to be the way that we're going to solve this problem. They start reinvesting in the market. This is before the boom of real estate. Before everybody heard about Dubai and UAE, they already knew. So they start reinvesting in the infrastructure and getting the country going again, pumping money back into the market so that people develop economy, right? If I'm not making money, I'm not going to the mall. I'm not, there's so many things that feed off of it. So they just believed in their mission and their path, and they continued, and then the rest is history. You see what happened the last 3 years. And
it's fascinating. It's fascinating. And you've been talking about $1 billion revenue target.
That's a dream for
everybody. Somewhere, right?
Well, you've read it, and that's a dream. And I think it's within reality, and within reality very soon. As long as the market.
You set a target date for it?
Yeah, I'd say before 2030. I would hope if things can be, if things go the right way. That would be a nice target to achieve. But it all depends on the market. Does the market support that vision? Does the market support that dream? It does. Does it support it right now? Is it going to take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself.
What have been the main challenges in terms of growing the revenue so far? I mean, of course, you'd probably have covered many instances where you've grown from X to Y and then another stage of your revenue growth. I personally have seen different challenges at different stages. I mean, when we were a team of 10 people, it was a different environment. when we had 20 people, different challenges, different opportunities.
For sure.
We have about 150 people now. There are different challenges, different opportunities. How have you been sort of, faring all the way through in terms of, seeing these opportunities and challenges?
Look, revenue is completely, I guess, determined by market, opportunities, right? And when there's a lot of opportunities, you get a lot of new competition in the market as well, which drives the profit margin down. Now, people kind of are misinformed, or they think that contractors have this huge profit. Well, we're actually, when we're large-scale contractors, we're fighting for 5% to 10%. Okay, yes, our top line is big, but at the same time, we don't have much flexibility to negotiate or to make mistakes when you're on the project. And the problem is you have all kinds of people coming in, starting companies and going very aggressive for projects, just looking for cash flow and revenue, maybe for other purposes. They have other businesses. Who knows what that reason is? So that's where I found the most challenge on how to build your revenue, stay profitable, and at the same time deliver a high quality product. I think that's the biggest challenge of the competition.
Around COVID time, I think you'd started the Real Housewives.
Yeah. So
Dubai. How did the opportunity come along?
Well, we had been called for some other shows previously in the last 10 years, which I usually tried to stay out of the limelight and all of that. But my beautiful wife, who happened to be in the limelight before I met her, actually used to love that show. So I'm not a TV guy, but I'd come home from work and that's what she watches, After she's done with work, she's watching Housewives, and I think just all women watch the show, right?
Yeah.
So when the opportunity came and I saw how excited she was, I couldn't say no, number one. Number two, I saw it as an opportunity. The construction is a core business, is our family business, is what we do day to day. But we have other businesses too. We have, as you know, she discussed, I guess, fitness, Elevate with you. We have a fitness business. We are investors in a cosmetic business. We have a tech business that we invest in. So we saw that as an opportunity to get some eyeballs on these different things that we're getting involved with. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was good to say that I've experienced that lifestyle once in my life, and if it comes back, great. If it doesn't. But
yeah, interesting. I mean, I was looking at your Insta. I mean, by the look of it, it seems that you are somehow, you're a private person. You haven't sort of, gone all out on your Instagram or other social media, right? But
yeah, I mean, so yes and no. I am a private person. But when this whole thing came along and that opportunity came along, I said, you know what, let me see. I know that I'm well-spoken. I know that I'm presentable. I said, let me try to do something. So I went off private mode on Instagram for the first time, which was interesting, to say the least. But shortly after, I went back. But no, I mean, look, I'd like to be public if I could portray a positive message, if I could help people, educate people, that type of thing, then I would like to go public. But one thing I experienced with the show and going public is there's going to be a lot of hate as well. And you got to have thick skin to deal with it, which I do.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's a different lifestyle.
Right. How was the experience in front of the camera?
I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun. I think we got better as we got more experienced as the filming went on. But I think that between my wife and I, we're already pretty social, outgoing people. She's a singer, so she's sung in front of thousands of people. I've delivered projects and on TV and in front of people, so it's wasn't nerve-wracking to say that we were in front of the camera. We got better over time, but overall, it was a very fun experience.
What kind of comments, would you typically receive? And of course, in front of the camera with your family, of course, all sorts of people are watching, right?
I was pleasantly surprised that most of our feedback was positive, but we did get some negativity.
What
on the one episode where I got an argument with one of the girls, I was called a lot of different names. What you see on the TV and what happens in real life, it's edited, right? So they have to guide the story, and you have no power in what comes out on camera. So it's all real, but the story's guided. So they'll cut things out where it kind of explains what really happened there. So in some people's views, I look like the bad guy. In other people's views, she looks like the bad guy. So it was interesting. It was interesting. I got approached a few times in Miami, in New York, in Italy. Oh, you're the guy that got in the fight. I'm like, oh gosh, that's what I'm going to be known for.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, was it also driven by a mindset of business? Like you'd get some exposure on the TV, of course, and you'd be able to sort of drive a bigger business after this, some publicity, some sort of advertisement.
Look, I do have a vision to be a public speaker and all those things for business purposes, but that was not really relevant in my decision making to join the show. Yeah, no, it was more about just creating a platform and networking with people and just going through that experience and learning about it more than anything else.
Were there any moments when you felt very uncomfortable, like talking about certain things or going back home, Talene, perhaps fighting with you? You shouldn't have said this. You shouldn't have.
No, I'll tell you what was really the most annoying part of all of this, right? So the show's full of drama, or there's no show, correct?
Correct.
So you would go through this whole day of filming, and the girls fighting with each other or whatever. Then you get home and you're exhausted. You've been filming 8-9 hours. You just want to go to bed. And then they get on the phone with each other and they have a group call and they relive the whole thing.
Gosh.
Okay, this is on the same day. So you go through it twice in one day, but it gets worse because then 6 months later, the show comes out, or 4 months later, the show comes out. Now, when the show comes out and is, there for the world to see, you relive all these fights again. You've already made up for this fight with this person, and now they're mad at you again 7 months later when the show comes out. Like, you've already gone through this. You're hanging out with each other, and now you're in another fight again over the same subject because it was the craziest thing ever. So, yeah, there was a lot of drama involved.
And do we have next season coming up?
Yet to be known, yet to be seen. I can't imagine that that there would not be a Real Housewives of Dubai show. Focused on being that the city is getting the attention that it's getting and the positivity that's getting, and quite frankly, the overall feedback from the show was positive. I mean, I think it did well. Didn't do great, but I think it did well when you review the numbers online compared to some of the other ones. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
I asked this of Talene as well. Would you rather prefer Dubai Bling over the Real Housewives?
Look, I'm friends with most of the people that are on the Bling show, and I think it's fantastic, and the way that they handle that, and they're completely different. They're completely different in terms of the approach, the content, the message that they're sending. Neither one is worse or better than the other one, in my opinion. They both have their drama and their issues and the negativities of them, but they're also positive in different ways. I don't know. I feel that Housewives would be more towards our type of, let's say, vibe or approach in life.
Yeah, but you haven't continued with the public side of your image after the show was done. Your Insta still remains a little private, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little private. I've been, to be honest with you, because of the opportunities in the market, I've been focused on my business and being in the public eye and doing these type of things and going to events and social networking and all those kind of things takes quite a bit of time. And you have to weigh. You only have 24 hours in a day, and you have to weigh your opportunities. So the opportunity the last, let's say, 2 years has really been on my business and my work and my focus on trying to develop the mission that I want to go to. And but I think I'm ready at that point now to take off and do something special. Yeah.
And what do you have in mind?
Well, I can't tell you everything, but I definitely will be starting a podcast. So, yeah.
You're looking to start one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking to start one there. I already have a pretty decent following, not on social media necessarily, but when I do broadcast some things and I help people out with some business, ideas or decision making. So I think I could help people, and it's just a lot of fun.
That's good to hear.
We have these conversations every day in our business.
Yeah.
Why not let someone hear it from someone who's doing it, not just from one of these Instagram guys that comes out and they're going to show you how to make $1 million, but they've never done it themselves.
Correct.
Selling memberships to classes that they've never executed.
Yeah, it does help. I mean, it's podcasting is a huge platform for education.
It is. It is.
I mean, we're all for education here. I mean, it's about spreading the word, experiences. I mean, whatever you've gone through, we're just sharing with the world. And there are moments of inspiration. People take away a lot of stuff, and I've seen lives changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a huge, huge platform.
You know, if we had podcasts back in the 90s or let's say early 2000s,
Yeah.
I think that when there's a transition in the culture of business, it would be adopted so much faster because you'll hear other people in real time talking about it. Where sometimes a trend in business will change and you're late to the party because you just didn't hear about it yet. You know, there was no one, it wasn't in your face. Now with social media, you have that ability to really expose and educate people.
Fantastic. And how's the life after the real housewives? I mean, what are the changes that you've seen in your personal life or professional life, or is it just business as usual?
Yeah, I would say it's business as usual. We were very structured when we went into this TV show thing. You know, we had very long discussions and about the way our life would be, that we didn't want it to change. And from firsthand experience, being under the camera and getting that kind of attention and exposure globally could change anyone. And it does. And it's not easy to keep your feet on earth and not go into the clouds when you're getting that kind of attention and notoriety and whatever. Not that we were some A-list celebrities or anything like that, but you did get more attention than you ever had in your life. So we made a very conscious decision that we wouldn't change, that we'd remain the same people that we are. And so I would say that it's business as usual. You know, it's the same thing.
Coming back to the business, which is usual, of course.
Yeah.
What are the plans for the future now in terms of your expansion out of the UAE, if you have any plans?
Yeah, well, we've already executed mega projects in Qatar and Saudi and Jordan. But I think a merger or acquisition in the future to support the growth of the company, could happen in the near future. Let's see. And just diversifying into different businesses as well within the construction industry.
So you're looking for your business to be acquired essentially, or merging with?
Well, we'd like, we may be interested to find a big partner that could help us go to the next level.
And what is the next level?
Well, the next level is to really go into heavy infrastructure and mega projects and master developments and perhaps become a developer, although we do our own developments, but to become a developer on the bigger scale.
That'll be quite interesting. I guess that is a different level.
Different level.
Absolutely. And who are your ideal developers at the moment? Who do you look at and get inspired?
I think H&H is doing some very, very special things in terms of their delivery and their quality. Not many people can really match it that I've seen in the market. And I know that because we're out looking for homes. So I'm looking at the different qualities and things like that. Of course, you have the big guys like MR and Dubai Holding developments, which are fantastic. Aldar is moving to Dubai, so you see some great things happening there. Majid Al Futtaim with Tilal Al Ghaf is a quality product, and that's their first flagship project. So that's impressive. Your first project is that scale is really, really impressive. And I think these are the key players right now.
Yeah, what do you look at when you look at a specific developer? Do you look at the community development side or the quality of construction? Because all of these developers have a different niche. I mean, if you look at Imar, they're into community development a lot more, I guess. The focus on the quality of the home is not that huge, I guess. And if you look at, for example, Shoba, on the other hand, they're heavily focused on the quality of the construction. How do you compare the two?
So community living and livability is very, very important, right? So you look at a development like Dubai Hills, for example. You've got everything there. I mean, if you wanted to, you could have your office, your school, your hospital, your supermarket, your shopping mall, every single service that you require for your life at an even high level, luxurious life is in that one community. And I think that's very attractive to some people. You know, you have everything you want there. You want to play golf, you have it. On the other side of things, you have some smaller developers who do, let's say, smaller communities that may not have all those facilities, but they do, more detailed and I guess a higher quality product because it's not so mass developed, right? It just depends on what you're interested in. To be honest with you, I mean, now Dubai is becoming so interlinked from all the communities. Do you need all those facilities within your own community? I mean, with all the infrastructure that they're putting in place, that exists and they're improving on, you can go anywhere really quickly. Yes, we're all talking about the traffic right now. Traffic is crazy because so many people are here. Stay away. No, don't stay away. Keep coming. Actually, it's good for us. But they're putting plans in place to reduce that and to cope with it. So yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, but within 2 years here, you're going to see a completely different Dubai and different discussion. I mean, they don't waste time here. They make decisions and move. So connectivity is important and it will be here. So it just depends on your personal preference.
Personal preference, which is the most important thing in my view as well.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, since we're talking about the future, let's talk about the past a little bit. I mean, what is one project that you are really proud of that would be the hallmark of your personal career?
Well, there's two, quite frankly. I would say the one that really changed the trajectory of our company's growth and future would be the Dubai Parks project. Just because we did huge volume, and on top of that, it was just so diversified. I mean, we designed and built Legoland Water Park. We've done the full utility networks there. We built a lot of the buildings there, and some of the biggest buildings there. We built the roller coasters and rides. We did the art packages. I mean, so many things that we usually would take 3 or 4 companies to do all those because they're so diverse. There's nothing related from a building to the art package, you know? It was a feat that at times we were there on site. We didn't think we were going to be able to accomplish this. We took on more than we could chew, but we achieved that mission. So I think that changed the trajectory of the company the most and put us, to another level to compete with some of the bigger guys because you couldn't deny our portfolio anymore. You couldn't say that you haven't done this or that size or that magnitude. So that gave us an opportunity that opened a lot of doors. But I think as a family and as a company, for this generation at least, our legacy project would be Sheikh Zayed National Museum. I mean, we were chosen to build the most important project in the country's history, I would say. The project that represents the foundation of the country, and that's very touching to me that we were selected for that project when they could have gone to some of our competitors. And we delivered. It's beautiful. And it was a great ceremony. And I think that one cements our legacy in the country.
Well, they have actually, given you so much of detailed, complex experience, I guess. I mean, of course, they're huge projects in their own rights, but the complexity involved in the parks and the museum would be something of a different level in my view.
Yeah. It was definitely complex. They introduced designs that have never been done here before in terms of the timeline garden, technologies that have not been used here before. So we had to learn on the fly and make it work, and it did in the end.
And what is the current project that you're working on that is really making you feel proud?
The current project that is really making us feel proud. We've just handed over a major park in Abu Dhabi called Al Falah Park. That project is special. It was the first time they did this size of an urban community development in a neighborhood in Abu Dhabi, which was it's a mega park, and it was very celebrated all over the media. And that's a project I'm very proud of. We handed over handing over a port in the Western region.
Port?
Yes, a port. So I'm extremely proud of that.
For the ships?
It's a port. We did the full utility network, the marine works, the sewage treatment, the roads, all the logistics centers. So that's on the Western region, close to the Saudi border.
Right.
So that was also an experience because it's not landscape. It's a very niche business, let's say.
It's a different project. I mean, you wouldn't have done this before, right?
No.
This is in Abu
it was
Dhabi,
very
right?
much infrastructure related. So there were elements that were marine related and port related, but most of it was typical infrastructure. But to say that we've been part of building a massive port is also another feat in our book.
Fantastic. And Do you remember any specific decision that would have shaped your future at a certain point? If you'd not made that decision, things would have been different?
I think, it's a funny story. I think it's positive and negative. I think the decision that we have taken in 2012 to expand to Qatar, where we built the Lusail Crescent Park, which is a major, major development. I think it's the largest park in the Middle East. And Saudi, where we built King Abdullah Financial District landscape. I think those were very positive decisions just because of the marketplace and the lack of opportunity that was going on globally at that time. Those were two low-hanging fruit projects that we took, which created good cash flow for the company to sustain until Dubai Parks came along and multiple other projects. I mean, we manage anywhere from 25 to 35 projects simultaneously. But those were good decisions at that time. Later, because of reasons that we couldn't control, those projects became very challenging to execute, but we completed all of them and handed them over. So, that I would say those were very pivotal moments of the company's history.
Wow. And what was the key decision there?
Opportunity. Qatar launched FIFA and they announced it and they needed contractors from the UAE. Saudi announced the King Abdullah Financial District and they needed contractors. They wanted a different level of contractors. At that time in Saudi, they didn't have the UAE style or quality. So those were just opportunities that came to us.
Fantastic. Let's conclude things now. One key message you'd like to leave for entrepreneurs or new business owners or founders.
One key message. This is a difficult one because I learned it the hard way. But I would say be ambitious, but manage your ambition. Don't be overambitious because there could be, things that are opportunities presented to you because of a market increase. Just through experience, I've learned that the market doesn't stay booming forever. It goes up and down, and you got to ride the wave. Be sustainable. Don't get too high. Don't go too low. Don't get too happy. Don't get too sad. And keep your head down and work hard.
That is an interesting one, actually. I can resonate with this. So staying practical is the key.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you could be actually shown a picture which is not true. Market conditions can change.
Exactly.
Right? But not being too optimistic is the message here, right?
Yes.
Staying practical.
Yeah, just be prepared for when things aren't as rosy,
Oh, fantastic. Beautiful message. Thank you so much, Rafael.
Appreciate you having me.
It's been an honor having you here.
Thanks a lot.
We've had a wonderful conversation. I'm sure a lot of people will learn a lot from this.
It's been a great time. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.